Hi, welcome to the Shelly Studio. It's time for a few more ATCs. So I'm rolling my prompt dice out and straightening them up for some reason. And I am working on day 4. So I'm randomizing my recycled Kleenex boxes. Just get a random pattern. And the first prompt is sheet music. So luckily I have a little bit of sheet music in my stash of stuff. In fact, this is a really old hymn book and the paper is really brittle. So I'm just going to use glue stick, I think, and glue that on. I am using recycled Kleenex boxes because I've always wanted to use them. The patterns are so pretty on them, but they are very slick and shiny, so it makes them hard to photograph and it makes them hard to paint. Some stuff just does not want to stick. So the next prompt is to add circles, and I had this piece of paper with a little bit bronzy paint on there and decided just to cut out some circles. I wanted hollow circles, but I didn't want to have to make the effort. So this is how I do that. And they're going to go off the page, so I just make that break go off the page. So you won't even see it because it's gone. But you could still just glue that down and it would be fine. It would look like a circle. And hand cut, I mean, it's handmade, right? So my cards this year are just really quick and simple. And this one is super, super simple. I'm just doing 3 prompts per card because I think that's enough prompts to be getting on with. And it's just a way to be creative every day. See, there's that circle. And just use my glitter glue again. Glue the next one down. And the last one. See, easy peasy. And part of the title of the song was Believe Me, and I didn't even realize that when I glued down that other piece of sheet music, it had Believe Me in the words. So that's the title of that one, and that is day 4. Just trimming it off there. I don't think I even inked the edges on that one. Oh, maybe I do. Well, I'm looking at it. It doesn't look inked. Oh, I think it's because I glued the white backing card on afterwards, and I can see that. Okay, so the next one is day 5. The first prompt is add a flower. Like, I think I already had that prompt. And I think I've had that prompt since then. My dice seem to be repeating themselves. So I just cut that out of an HGTV magazine, an old one I had. Stuck it on there and then put a little gray down there so it looked like it was sitting on something. And the next prompt was add fabric. I'm like, are you serious? Fabric? So I have a scrap piece of just cotton fabric. It's, I decided it looked kind of like a flower sitting in a window with, you know, trees and vines in the background outside the window. So I figured I'd put a little curtain on there, and this was really hard to figure out how to get it to look like it was a flowing curtain in such a short space. So I do fiddle with the fabric quite a bit here to get sort of a pleat going. I wanted to just keep going. I didn't want to wait for that to dry. So I do end up clamping those pleats on and then Eventually I put it on the card and just clamp it down. I'm like, let's just do this thing. Alright, so here's where I decide, let's just clamp it on there. And I had tied a ribbon, you know, to be a tie back on there. I didn't show you that part. It was just another struggle. I take it off anyway, so you can see me struggle again. Alright, so I've got that holding the fabric on the top. Now I need to get that to hang right. End up having to glue it in a few places to get that to stay put. I mean, it's a really simple card, but that was kind of a struggle to do that part. I've never really put a curtain on a card before. So to get that to stay over there, I glue it and then I clamp it down. Good thing I have enough of those binder clips and little clamps. Oh, it's funny. You can see me watching YouTube on my iPad as I make my ATCs. Actually watching how to do low content books. Thinking of doing some. If any of you have tried them, let me know. Give me your opinion. Was it hard? I haven't done it yet. I'm just thinking about it. Finally got that looking like a curtain, sort of. I'm just going to glue the ribbon down so it hangs down like it should. Alright, the next prompt is add paint or pastel or gel crayons. I'd almost forgotten that I was supposed to do 3 prompts, so I just grabbed the next one and that's what it happened to be. And so I just grabbed a little blue gelato. That's a gel crayon, right? It's crayon like. And just thought I'd give a little shine to the flower pot. So that was day 5. The next one is day 6, and the first prompt was add neon. I just happened to pull the same background that I did on day 4. Oh, and the next was add a quote. I had a sticker, so there we go. And it had the right colors, like it was bright pink and blue, so it worked. The paint is still wet, so I'm trying to draw a line around part of it without touching that paint. So the next one was stencil. So I did wait for it to dry. I actually waited overnight and did it the next day. And pulled out one of my Gina B. Aaron stencils that has some girls on it, so I could get a couple of girls on there because I already had girls' night on there. and black gesso. Figured that would work. And like I said, that surface is glossy that I'm painting onto, so you have to be really careful because the paint just lifts right off if you're not careful. Alright, and let that dry. And then I go around it with just a white gel pen. So I like the way it looks when you kind of emphasize around the black. I think it looks cool. Looking around the edge again. Alright, so there's day 6 and day 7. Had to mix up my blocks again and picked a pretty busy background, and I cut a word out of your page again. That's the same that I had in, was it day 1? So I didn't show it, but I cut the word life right down the center diagonal. And then the next prompt was add marks with a, what was the object? Make marks with found object. I had a empty roll, KT tape roll, and I just used that. And I did it on rice paper because I didn't think it would work well on the backing. So I figured I'd make the marks onto the rice paper, and then once they dried, I could collage them down. And so this one is pretty busy looking. It's a pretty busy looking ATC. I actually thought maybe the rice paper would mute it down a little bit, make it less busy, but I still think it looks pretty busy. So once that's dry and trimmed off, I have some words that I'd printed onto rice paper a long time ago. So I just took a section out of there, and it says, I urge you to live and experience, and then the word I have on there, life. And I'm just going to collage them down as well. I try to make it really juicy, and then it makes it more transparent. I think. That's my opinion. I mean, if it was on tissue paper, it'd be really transparent. This is rice paper, so it doesn't quite get that transparent, but a little bit. So I decided I didn't want white in the background, which probably would have calmed it down a little bit, but I go for some antique gold. And it's kind of transparent, so I do a few coats. And it's going to be back behind, so it doesn't have to be perfect. I was trying to put a little bronze around the flowers. It wasn't doing much. And I decide to fill in the circles that marks I made with a little bit of white, hoping it would calm it down a little bit. It's still busy. Alright, and then I glue that gold on the back of it, and that is it. That's my 4 for now. I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, leave me a comment or a thumbs up, and thank you all for watching.